Welcome to Firebreathing Kittens, an actual play podcast. Every episode microplot is a complete adventure with a beginning and an end that fits into the overarching macro plot of the whole season. Because they stand sturdily on their own, you can listen to these adventures in any order, and you can skip any you don't enjoy. Today, we are playing using the combat mechanics from a game called Lost Roads of Lociam. It's our first time playing, so we might make some mistakes. If you enjoy these mechanics, you can find Lost Roads of Lociam on LOCIAM.com. Build your own Lost Roads of Lociam character and play a game with friends. Speaking of friends, today we are joined by Ivy Green.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. I'm Ivy Green, and I'm super excited to play with you today. I have blonde hair, I have fairy wings, I look super cute today in my outfit, and I'm very excited to play.
And Ailbh Goldbeard.
Hello, good morning. You'll see a fine, sturdy dwarf standing in front of you, a lofty 4 feet, beautiful golden beard, and as it is his biennial washing, he is in his black cotton top today with his kilt rather than his usual white one.
Okay. You are both in the Firebreathing Kittens Guild Hall. The guild is a large building with a bar, a sitting area with wooden tables and chairs, and a wall with a corkboard and job flyers posted. Ivy, yesterday you saw your sister, and she told you how she has become concerned. Ever since your birthday party, your sister Fern has been working up her courage to break up with her fiancé Todd. But Fern told you yesterday Todd still hasn't come back from that, air quotes, business trip he was on even back then. Although he didn't say when he was coming back, this seems too long. Fern wants to find him so she can dump him and move on.
Oh my god. On one hand, I am concerned because he is a human, but also on the other hand, it's Todd. So I guess that I'll try to go find him, and obviously I'm going to ask Ailbh because he was there. So, yeah, we're going to try to find Todd. Mostly so Fern can move on, because girl, she needs it. So Ivy will approach Ailbh. Did she give me any information about where Todd was or where he was going?
You remember talking to her and asking her that question and her just looking like a light bulb over her head, like, I should have asked.
That seems like something you would ask your partner is, hey, are you going on a trip? Where are you going to?
And as you said these things to her, she was like, did I even know anything about him? What even does he do for a living? I don't know.
That has always been a mystery that you probably should have resolved before you got engaged to him. But there's no judgment here. We all make mistakes. And next time, hopefully you'll find out your partner's profession before you date them. Anyways,
he always had so much money. I never asked where it came from. He said his family was wealthy. I don't know.
That's true. Todd.
Whatever happened to that lovely young man, Reed? I seem to recall he was capturing your eye there, Fern.
Oh, yeah. Fern, did you ever go hang out with Reed again?
That would be an interesting thing to talk to her about.
I will talk to her about that at another time.
I seem to recall he had a wonderful singing voice and was wonderful on the old instruments.
He's fantastic. He's my father's favorite protege, and he's had a lot of proteges. So, yeah, I'm very fond of Reed for sure. But first, if Fern's going to get with Reed or somebody else if she's interested in them, we need to get rid of Todd. Find Todd.
Yes, let's find Todd. It's the right thing to do.
It is.
You guys are decided. It's good that you went to the guild hall and got your friend. And as you prepare to head out, the door to the guild hall opens. A 5'7" tall human woman with black hair and wearing all black, walks in. You recognize Robin Banks, a controversial guard at Ivy's birthday party.
Oh, bold of you to like walk in here, Robin.
Why wouldn't I? I have a job for you, Firebreathing Kittens. I want to kickstart you $4,000 to start selling an alternative to LifeBru.
Oh.
I'm in.
Immediate yes.
Ailbh, LifeBru, wasn't that your enemies or friends? What was LifeBru again? Because I
Alexander McJohn.
don't remember. Yeah.
He published it as this wonderful elixir that would cure all kind of ailments, but in reality it was an addictive, blasphemous piece of... I shall hold my tongue. He's an animal.
Robin slides into the bar and takes a seat. Her hand is shaking pretty hard. She pulls out a LifeBru as you're speaking and sips it. The shaking subsides slightly. She says, I appreciate that LifeBru saved my life. I do. And I don't want to deprive others of living, so I'm not stopping Alexander McJohn from selling it. She smiles sardonically and tips her LifeBru at you in that classic cheers gesture. But McJohn put something addictive in this. I can't stop drinking it every day or I get the shakes. And it feels real bad. Like if I don't drink it, something worse than shakes might happen. But although that naturally makes me want to take out my frustration on Alexander, and she pats the sword at her waist, which she definitely knows how to use, I won't deprive the world of the miracle brew that saves lives. But maybe you, Firebreathing Kittens, could prove that LifeBru doesn't need to be like this. She looks her brilliant green eyes down at her shaking hands, then up at you, and says, A little birdie told me that you learned a recipe from the Whisper song, Ailbh.
That is correct. Irrelevant. I do have a recipe from the Whisper song, that's correct. However, one of the key ingredients is still unknown. There was a missing grain from the recipe.
Well, Firebreathing Kittens, here's $4,000. I'm going to kickstart you finding out what grain you need. We need to have a healing brew, but it doesn't need to be Alexander McJohn's.
I concur, heavily concur. Anything that man puts out is... him and his whole family. Hopefully you feel better and that sword of yours can be put to good use.
Thank you, Ailbh. And she's going to leave because I'm done. You guys plan. All right. Now, GM hands game over to players. Here you go. Yoink. Pass. Planning time. What you going to do?
Okay. So we like need to find this grain and we need to find Todd. But we need to do research for both of those, like, right?
I would say so. We know a little about what we need. We've got most of the ingredients identified at least, but we might need to source some of them. Some of them are mountainous. But it feels like finding Todd would be the first port of call, and we can research on the way when there's any downtime perhaps. But did Fern tell you any more about where Todd may be?
No. It turns out she's like not really great at like relationships. I don't know. Also, he was like really sketchy, so you know, he was not very forthcoming with who he really was. And I spotted that from like the very beginning, but she was in that like rose-colored glasses love phase, so you know, I can't really blame her because if he's a smarmy person anyways. So we could like maybe go to where his house is, but now I'm wondering if like his house even existed. What if Todd isn't Todd at all? Oh God.
If that's all the information we have is he's home for the moment, it's a reasonable place to start. Do we know of any other family that he has?
He had generically referenced parents and that was about it. Like, I don't know how she was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just start dating this person and then potentially marry them when I know nothing about them. But she is a special, beautiful flower, and we love her.
Yeah, I mean, I've only had a little interaction with her, and Robin nearly died. There's a lot went on. I can't really pass judgment on your sister, unfortunately. It was a good party, though, apart from the very sweet cocktails. They were not for me.
Most of it was a fun party, I guess. Yeah, it was a good time. I don't think I'll have a birthday party like that ever again. But, so I guess we could try to find his house?
Seems reasonable. I presume Fern knows where it is if we don't.
Yes. Can I roll to see if I know where he lives or something, or...
Yeah, let's do our first roll of the game.
Woohoo!
In Lost Roads of Lociam, everybody has 10 stats. I'm looking at your character sheet. You've got 10 different stats. Which one do you want to use for this roll?
Knowledge. That feels like the most apt.
All right, and what's your stat number in knowledge?
50.
All right, so to succeed on this, you would roll a 1, a 2, a 3, etc., 49, and I think 50. I think it's meted to beat it, whatever. Again, we may make some mistakes during playing of this game. I think it's meted to beat it. Give it to you. Roll a 1 through 50. What's your number?
I got a 41.
That succeeds. So you remember, you have the knowledge that he is staying at a mansion at this address in Elysium Fields, which is a brief walk into the suburbs of Nicomoy.
Well, okay. We should, head there then.
Elysium Fields, I wonder how he came to be so wealthy.
That is the mystery that hopefully we will uncover today.
I've got another friend who lives in this area.
Who's your friend that lives in that area?
He's a demon of sorts. You probably don't know him. Don't nothing to worry about.
That doesn't sound scary at all. Let's go.
You walk through the city, and then you pass through the city wall into the unprotected, but very wealthy, suburbs called Elysian Fields. The roads are a little bit less walkable. There's way more distance between houses, giant lawns, backyard pools, ornamental shrubbery. And as you approach this address, you notice there's 10 carriages parked outside it. And the sounds of, mid-20s yells, if that makes sense, people having a good time audibly, party maybe, you don't know.
Oh, sounds like there's something exciting happening in there. We should go check it out. Also, I think it's Todd's house, so that's also probably important. But party first.
Oh, must. They're all so young. Oh, I'm going to feel so old. At least I've got my nice cotton top on, I guess.
That's true. You look very dashing, and also they might have beer.
My eyes are up here.
I'm pretty sure Ivy is the same height as Ailbh. And so, yeah, it's very obvious when she's just staring down at your kilt. So Ivy will walk into the mansion without knocking, because in her head, it's a party, so that means it's an open door.
Yes, let's see a communication roll from you. Your number for communication is 80. The odds are good.
Let's see.
And remember, just so I'm saying this mechanic now in the start of the game, you can always exert, which is to take 10 off of your mechanic. So from 80 to 70 for the rest of the game, to air quotes roll a guaranteed 2, which is a guaranteed success. So that you guys know in this game, you have that option. You can always guarantee a success by reducing your skill by 10.
Wonderful. I rolled a 65.
That's a success. As you walk in, you are handed a beer and a slice of pizza, and you see that there's a lot of boxes everywhere. This is a moving party, and you are asked to carry a box to a room by, let me roll randomly for gender and fantasy species, a fox girl.
A foxy girl. Is this a moving in party or a moving out party?
Moving in.
Moving in party. Ivy will shove the piece of pizza in her mouth and hold it in there while she carries the box to whatever room.
Ailbh will step forward and go, no, give that here. And he'll take the box from you. You have your pizza, I'll carry the box.
She'll just follow him to wherever he takes it. And she's very happily munching on the pizza. Is there a lot of people in here?
Yeah, it seems that this is almost like a fraternity of people moving in, and that this mansion is like a rental property that you can rent. And they have, so the fox girl says, "Thank you so much for helping us move," gives you pizza and beer. "We're going to love it so much at," and then I invent some Greek letters, but like if I were to say them, I'm sure they would exist. So like,
right.
I'm like, I think they all have 3, right? So I'll just say one that has more than 3. Delta Psi Delta Omega Beta. That's definitely not a real
5. No.
Yeah. We're going to love it here. Oh my gosh. And it's like a whole bunch of like, you know, young people being all excited to live together. There's like a bunch of rooms at this place and everybody's setting up.
Wow. Like, where did you guys find this place? Because it's phenomenal. And it's also like a really rich area.
I know, right? It was listed in Marketplace and we found the rental and we moved in. It's going to be great for this year. Yeah, it's like a month-to-month place. You can just rent it. So we got it for the, how long is this semester? 7 months that we need it for, and we're all set.
Wow. Was there like any stuff still left here when you guys like moved in?
Thankfully, no, it was all cleared out and cleaned. I love it.
Oh, that's great.
Do you know who owns the house at all?
Yeah, it's Mega Corporation.
Ah, of course.
Mega Corporation, making all the profit from all the rentals.
It's always Mega Corporation. Oh my God, those guys. They own everything.
They suck.
They do.
They own a terrible brewery as well, and it's just like water. Mm-hmm. You know, they say a good lager takes more than 3 to 4 weeks to make, and they make it in under a week. It's awful. It's weak. Mm-hmm. There's no strength to it. It's not even nice cold. What beer's not nice cold?
Oh, I know, right? I have discerned opinions about beer too. And she looks nervously at what she handed you. She's like making sure it was a good one.
Which is like definitely the beer from Mega Corporation. Yeah.
But it's their like labeled craft brewery, but we all know, you know?
We all know.
And then you see that the box you're unpacking is a box of library books, and she looks at it and she's like, "Oh no, I was supposed to take these back to the library, but I forgot because I was moving. What am I gonna do? I don't have time to go to the library because I've got to unpack and classes are like tomorrow."
Important question, is she cute?
Rules for cute. A 6 out of 10.
All right, what do you think, Ailbh? Is that enough? That's yeah, all right. I would be like, if she's cute, I'll do it. Yeah. Well, we're like on a research mission, so we could like take them back for you.
Oh my gosh, you guys were going to the library anyway? That's perfect. Well, here, since you're missing out on the packing, I don't want to deprive you. And she hands you an entire box of pizza. It's still steaming hot and it has the topping of your choice. What's on it, folks?
Spicy chili.
Spicy chili on top of a pizza?
Yes.
Does that even make it like a pizza anymore? Like, is the spicy chili in replacement of the marinara sauce?
No, in addition to.
My brain cannot like wrap my head, but this does sound like something that a frat would invent.
Like actual fresh chilies. Yeah.
Oh, chilies like
fresh
chopped
chilies,
up.
yeah.
I heard chili
pepper.
Like chili is
okay.
in the soup. Chili.
Well, up in the mountains where I'm from, we refer to the chilies as the green or the red, the fruit, if you will.
A frat would totally eat a spicy pizza. Yes. And they would dare each other. They'd be like, "Put hot sauce on it."
Absolutely. It has like, you think it's just regular red chilies, but then it's actually the Reaper chili.
Oh.
Yeah. Ivy's like, I'll just pick those off of mine, but okay. Thank you. It's still going to be spicy because it like leaked into the pizza.
Ailbh sort of throws it down his neck, but because of his red complexion, you can't tell if it's overly affecting him or not. He's certainly not any more flushed than he normally is, so.
Perfect. We will gather the box of... Did she say which library it is? Is there only one library in Nicomoy?
Yeah, the Central Library of Nicomoy. They have branches everywhere.
Okay.
Any of them will work. They got interlibrary system, yeah.
Wonderful.
Ailbh will pick up the box. He's not being chauvinistic about it because he just sees it as his role. I'm going to carry the heavy thing. I am a stout dwarf. I will pick up the heavy thing.
Ivy is not going to protest this. She didn't want to pick it up anyways. Okay, well, like, thanks. Well, happy moving in day, and I hope you have fun.
Thanks. I'll see you at class tomorrow, she says, assuming that you're her age.
Like, yeah, okay. Ivy feels every bit her age at that moment, and I feel like she ages internally, like a good 20 years, however, is older for a fairy. And she's like, oh, God. Anyways, okay. And we head towards the nearest branch of the library.
It's again a brisk walk after exiting Elysian Fields, where the lawns make the walk like stretch out for infinity in between houses. Once you enter the city walls and are back into the tightly spaced residential area, which exchanges the large lawns for specially designated parks and still has like a good quality of life, but it also is walkable. You just making this up.
This sounds like a wonderful neighborhood. I love this.
And there are little libraries very frequently that all do interlibrary loans and have like request lists. So you find one like right away. It's small, it's quaint, it's got some working space, some space for kids to be loud over there. And it also like a reference section that anyone could use to look up information.
Information like what specific grains are? We should do that. Since we're here, Todd can wait. I'm sure he's fine wherever he is.
I mean, even if we didn't go look for him, I wouldn't be that upset. I mean, I like Fern. I like your family. Your mum's funny, but, you know, I'd rather look up the beer.
Right, exactly. Maybe it's like when somebody goes missing and you have like a certain amount of time before you can declare them dead, and then they're just like auto-declared dead. So like maybe eventually she could just assume that they've broken up because he's been gone for so long. I feel like that's a thing that can happen.
I think that's reasonable. I mean, he's in a shady line of business. We're told it could be presumed that he upset his bosses or, you know, something along those lines. We might never find him anyway. Ailbh will pull out sort of the recipe that he's been carrying around for some months now, and he's going down the list of ingredients, and there's just generic grain at the bottom here. Well, yes, this is one at the bottom here. Everything else we understand, but this one we need to know more about. We know it's in the mountains. Everything seems to be in the mountains, but I don't. I've looked a lot into these books and various horticultural magazines. I don't know if you read any such publications. However, I just can't find what this is meant to be. Nothing other than this generic information.
Maybe you need to like go about it like a different way, like find a book that's about the mountains and then indigenous plants to that like area. Maybe it's not only a grain. Maybe it's like also something else.
I see what you're saying. That. Why didn't we speak sooner, Ivy?
I don't know.
Oh, well, anyway, the research machine, can you describe it? What do we see?
Yes, you see rows and rows of shelves of books and a librarian access point, sort of like a desk in the middle of all of the shelves, where there sits, let me roll for species and gender. Species is a cow. Gender is a guy. So there is a cow guy sitting at a desk amongst all of the research books. Please tell me, I want to know two things. One is your goal and one is your role. What is your goal here when interacting with this cow guy? And tell me your number and the stat you're using to accomplish this goal.
Goal is to find a suitable book or publication which will allow us to look at indigenous plants, I think quite generic, that have been used in a medicinal way, not necessarily for beer, but in the broader sense of sort of medicinal. And I would like to use academic.
Excellent. What's your number in academic?
90.
90 is pretty high. Hey?
That's why I chose academic. Also knowledge. Knowledge is also 90.
Odds are good. Yeah.
Okay. 57.
Is a success. So describe your interaction with this librarian and you will get your goal. Yeah.
Hello there, good sir. Oh, I must say you take good care of your horns. They are incredible. Did you grow them yourself?
I did. Thank you.
And what a beautiful register you have in your voice there. The timbre is incredible. Anyway, enough with the pleasantries. I'm looking for a specific book and I'm hoping you'll be able to help. I'm aware of a plant up in the mountains there, the colder climates. It's used for medicinal purposes. It's quite good tasting from what I understand. It has been brewed into many different elixirs and potions and tonics. However, specifically, I'm looking to put it into a beer. I've been given this recipe, and sort of turn it round to the bullman. And look, this one at the bottom here, it's the only thing I'm missing. Do you know of a book here which would fulfill my need?
The cowman looks at your recipe, and I click on a random recipe from brewersfriend.com. Oh, this one's called Hell's Lager. I'm clicking on it. All right. And he's looking at it and he says,
yes, the Germanic beer. Yes, it's a good one.
I see brew it at a target temperature of 152 Fahrenheit. Got it. To make the mash.
Yep.
Add 0.25 ounces of yeast and Irish moss. That's interesting. And then I see you need this is very similar to a Hallertau. Indeed, you're going to be using a lot of looks for ingredients. This isn't actually a great recipe.
There must be a hop in there. There must be a hop. That's generally where the medicinal properties of the beer come from. It gives it the bitter notes, you see.
Yeah. Ferment for 3 weeks in the primary before racking. Pull it out. You guys are looking at all this. The mash chemistry, the brewing water calculator. He says, oh, but the grain here is not listed. You need to know which grain to ferment. I see why you would need a medicinal herbs and grains reference book. Let's see what I have here. And he goes right to the shelf, exactly to the shelf you need. Pulls down exactly a book. And it's like medicinal grains from the mountain regions of Guaso. Brings the book, opens it up. It's like a telephone book. Like when this thing sets itself on the desk, it like rattles, like the desk little shakes a little bit. And he's flipping through all these plants and he's like, well, the problem is collecting all of these plants. You know, some of these plants have gone extinct.
No.
What about those ones? What if it was one of those?
I do have a contact, a powerful contact. May have to speak with them, but I don't know. And there's a tear.
Aww. Oh, don't cry. I can help you. I will tell you something. I don't know if I should tell you this. I hesitate to tell you about this. Are you sure you want to know? It's a dangerous knowledge that has driven some people insane.
Well, some people have already said I'm insane, so I don't know how it would change things. Feels like a freebie to me.
So at this point, players, I'm going to give you the choice. If you take your headphones off, you won't gain any insanities. If you leave your headphones on, I'm going to give you some information that might drive you insane. You're going to get an insanity. So you can choose. I'll wave you back in, and it's your choice.
I think Ivy is off reading a random magazine, like a fashion magazine, so I don't think she's listening. So I will not take this insanity.
Okay. All right, we'll wave you back in. All right, Ailbh. Roll for insanity. First, make a check against your knowledge trait. There's a chance you might not get one.
Okie dokie. Knowledge is 90 for our keen-eared listeners.
The higher your knowledge, the less likely you are to gain an insanity.
17.
17 is a success. You do not gain an insanity, but for the listeners to show you to demonstrate some of the game mechanics, because this might be your only time listening to an actual play of Lost Roads of Lociam, there are cool insanities like hates music. The character will even resort to violence to stop musicians from disturbing their thoughts. Fear of enclosed spaces. It means you have a -10 to -30 modifier depending on the size of the space. They get progressively more negative, I guess. And things like obsessive hatred of, and there's like food and drink, obsessive love of magic. The character will devote every free moment to the accumulation of more magical power. Panicked by loud noises, disgusted by gross things, compulsive gambler, all the way to things that actually bother people in real life. And so you can like die at the amnesia, paranoia, and then your character thinks they're in a fantasy world or a childhood safe period in their life, like regression. So anyway, we're going to wave Ivy's player back in.
I'm back.
Successful knowledge, right? Yes, knowledge roll. Ailbh did not gain an insanity.
Yay! I'm so proud of you.
That you know of.
I beat it by 73.
Or did you?
Okay, so no insanity was getting, just to make communication better between you two. Wait, should I tell you? Wait, take your headphones off again. I'll just make it.
Okay.
Yeah. Ailbh, they lean in and whisper for your ears only. The dangerous knowledge is, whispers tell of a lost tribe of greedy, ravenous collectors in the Fubi Plains. They collected many foods from all over the world and worlds beyond this one. They definitely collected the grain from the mountains before it became extinct. They collected many types of exotic fruits, vegetables, and grains. They lived a life of luxury, of excess, delight, and of gourmet pleasures. But one day it all ended. The village was rumored to have been wiped out by something they brought into their collection. The ruins even are still too dangerous for people to explore. But perhaps you could find many types of grains there, because grains would still probably grow even if the village was destroyed. Maybe. I don't know. All right.
I'm back.
You don't have the potentially insanity-causing knowledge.
That fits for Ivy. She doesn't have any non-insanity included knowledge, so she'll like put her magazine down and wander over to Ailbh and be like, so how's it going? Did you find what you were looking for?
I'll sort of turn around very sternly. Yes, I'll hold on to some of the information for your own sake, but I think we need to take a little trip. There's a ruin I believe we should visit. I think it's going to give us what we need.
Oh, okay. Like, how long is this trip going to be?
It is the length of time it will take to get there.
Wonderful. That sounds like an appropriate length of time. I can't wait. Then Ivy will inform her sister through a message or a letter that they're off on an adventure, so she doesn't worry, like a proper person that cares about someone does. Todd. Anyways, they will go on this adventure.
Ailbh will try and pocket the book if that's okay.
Oh, yeah. You can check it out.
Oh.
It's a library, remember?
It's not as fun as stealing it, though, is it?
Okay. Do you want to steal
I'll just
it?
check it out, I guess. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. I'll get my little slip of paper.
But then the true adventure is Ailbh trying to get a library card. And whether or not they'll give it to him. I don't know.
I think if you show like a piece of mail that came to your address that shows you're local, all right? Yeah, I have no idea.
because people just carry pieces of mail around in their pocket at all times. Anyways, I have feelings.
After a certain time skip to go back to Ailbh's place of residence.
And then return to get his library card and then check out the book and then leave. And they're like, you must return this within a week. And he's like, this is going to take longer than a week.
Actually, Ailbh, did you already have a library card?
I'm going to think so. He probably did. Yeah, he is a keen reader, so likely that he would have a library card. He never carries it with him because he's not that organised. He's a bit of a bit absent-minded.
But I bet you're in
time.
this system, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's a little hand-drawn picture and he holds it up next to him. Yeah, that's definitely you.
Kilt matches. Oh, no. Kilt doesn't match. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, no. So, traveling in Lost Roads of Lociam is a roll. So we're going to roll for your forester trait for both of you. I just want to know what kind of time you're having as you travel. So, like, you're going to get there, is what I'm saying. But the question is, how covered in mud are you? Have you eaten some questionable berries? You know, this is the question we're answering with this forager roll right now. So go ahead and both of you make me a forager roll. We're going to use the wilderness survival, whatever's table. It's not a table. Guideline of suggestion from pages 44 and 45.
I got an 82.
And your trait is a
40.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that is a higher than a trait. I'm not going to call it a failure, but I'm going to describe what Ivy looks like as she arrives.
31 versus 70.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So 39.
Ailbh is totally able to find food and water for 2 people during the course of a day. I love that it's exactly what you needed. You can find or construct serviceable shelter that protects against normal weather, and you can set a basic campfire using a fire drill. Ailbh's totally cool. And Ivy,
on the other hand,
you cannot find water other than by pure luck. You cannot find serviceable shelter or food. I mean, you're like, you're with Ailbh here.
Not having a good time and is entirely reliant on Ailbh. Although that kind of tracks. I feel like she's not much of an outdoorsy girl anyways, so she probably would have been like, I don't know, like, what are these berries? Do these look edible to you?
Slap them out of her hand. Absolutely not. No, Ivy. No. You know the leaves. So you remember if the leaves have got that spine on the back and they're a little bit burnt. No.
I don't know. All leaves have spines. This is really confusing.
No.
Yep. Ivy's not having a good time.
I'll give you what you need.
There's also so much mud, and she is not a fan of so much mud.
Did she trip up at any point?
Oh, probably. And then she's like, my dress is ruined. This day is not my day.
Aw, and that's how you guys are as you approach the path to the Fubi Plains. It's pretty well traveled at first, but after a while, as you pull further and further away from the city of Nicomoy, it's just you, the dirt road, and waving grasses as far as the eye can see. And I'm curious, what do you guys talk about as you travel?
Fern and Todd. Also, Ailbh will be kind of probing questions, going, where did your sister meet this buffoon? How did she become so enthralled with such a moron?
Well, it all started back in our childhood. Our parents are like really not, and she'll just start going into almost like a psychological analysis of her own family, but it's peppered with a lot of likes and ums. Yeah, and I think eventually after an hour, she finally gets to the point where Fern meets Todd. So you know so much more about the Green family than you ever wanted to know. You're welcome.
Imagine there'll just be an awkward pause when you stop talking. Great. Thanks. I didn't realise you had such a long and varied history, the Green family. You know so much about your great-great-grandparents. Right.
Yeah, my dad's like a major history buff and what's it called? A gynecological person. So that's a real word that I just made up in my head. But as for like Todd and specificity, He met Fern at like a play premiere, and he claimed that he like fell in love with her at first sight. Which, I mean, she is like really beautiful, so that tracks. But he like, I don't know, what's the term? He love bombed her. And he just like took over her whole life, and I've never really liked him. But then I moved away to join the kittens, and I guess they just got engaged. But I don't know. Now I'm glad that they're breaking up because I hate that man. And I don't hate a lot of things in life. And she just keeps rattling on. She starts listing things she does hate, which is a very surprisingly non-exhaustive list, even though she just said that she doesn't hate a lot of things. So I don't think Ivy is a great travel companion. I believe that she does not shut up. So I'm so sorry.
Ailbh sort of dips into his little satchel and pulling out a beer every so often, and he's picking at a label on it and just, oh, is that right? Oh, that's interesting.
This is a real test of Ailbh and Ivy's friendship, this trip together.
He likes Ivy a lot, so he's humouring her. If it was somebody else, perhaps he would be less amenable to such conversation. But he's like, and he's probably drank a few beers by the time he arrives at the ruins just to get through the trip.
Before that, I have a question. Are you bringing the beer cart?
Naturally.
Okay. Describe the beer cart.
Oh, it is a wonderful thing. This was gifted to me some time ago during another one of my fabulous quests. And it is, just so I'm not, I can't remember what canon is for the beer cart. Sort of gold-sided, beautiful green, really deep forest green lettering on the side. It says, the stout and stubbly. It's got a big sort of hand-drawn thumbs up on the side. Beautiful dark mahogany sides. Everything is just so. There are some adornment with it. There's a bar that extends out that keeps beer cold. There's all sorts. It's a perfect travelling bar, and it's sort of horse-drawn. It's wonderful, and Ailbh looks for every opportunity to pedal out this wonderful wagon.
Absolutely. So it is a cart track that you are on. There's something in the distance. Perception check, both of you.
Oh, I have an 80 in perception, and then I rolled an 87, so...
Odds had been good.
I rolled a 17.
A 17? Ailbh, you see off in the distance a fellow cart, similar to yours, but it has a cracked, broken wheel leaning on it.
Is it moving? Is it coming towards us, or is it stationary?
It's off to the side of the road in the grasses, and this is a prairie-type ecosystem, and off the road with a cracked, broken wheel leaning on it.
Ivy, keep your head down a moment. We don't know if this could be someone dangerous. I'll have a quick chat with them, see if they need any help, and if they could maybe help us as well. But you keep yourself safe for the moment, okay?
She's mid-sentence, and she's like, what? And then she goes, oh, did you see that cart over there? Maybe we should stop.
That's a wonderful idea. We should help them. You're absolutely right.
He's already started to slow down, and she's like, yeah, oh yeah, I'll just like stay here. You got this. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. We'll sort of stop the cart maybe 50 feet shy of them, and Ailbh will jump down. It's quite a big jump, even though it is his beer cart. He is 4 feet tall, so jumping down, there's still a 2 or 3 foot drop down to the ground from the cart, and he'll start to sort of ponder over.
A blonde man wearing a fancy suit sits on the driver's perch, dangling a leg off of the cart, swinging it. A woman lays next to him, her head on his lap. He twirls her strawberry blonde hair absent-mindedly. Why, that's Todd Winston Sinclair.
As soon as he realises before he speaks to them, he's going to stop back and get Ivy.
Oh, okay. Ivy will definitely not be paying attention. But when Ailbh comes back, do you tell her that it's Todd?
Yes.
Oh, she'll go, Todd, And then she'll climb out of the beer cart and start walking over to you, or them. Do we recognize the woman at all?
You don't recognize the woman, and when Todd sees you, he startles, pushes her off of his lap, and says, Ivy! Pushes her off the lap. How did you find me?
Todd. Well, I will say that I was looking for you, but I wasn't looking for you. But now that I found you and your companion, I'm glad to see that you are still alive.
Excuse me, wife, says the woman.
Ivy's voice goes up about like 10 pitches, which it was already pretty high. So this is like glass shattering level. And she's just like, Todd, you have some explaining to do. Did he tell you about his fiance, my sister, wifey?
She honestly doesn't flinch, and she's like, I'm not surprised other women wanted a piece of this hunk, but too bad for them, he's all mine. We're married and on our way to our honeymoon. My servants will be here shortly to fix the broken wheel.
Oh, so you're a rich idiot too. Got it. Todd, I was coming to find you anyways to tell you that Fern wants to break up with you because she's realized that she is much better than you deserve. Because apparently you are, I'll be polite
Scumbag.
and just say, not a good thank you.
He doesn't look that upset. And he says, well, whatever happened in the past is the past. And, Fern should have realized that she was in the past. And I'm grateful because it all led me here to my new wife, Christy.
Well, I hope that you two will be very happy together. Even though Christy, he's definitely going to take all your money, but you don't seem like a nice person either, so I don't really care.
Ailbh will walk around the cart going, are you needing a hand with this cart? I know, say the wheel's broken, you said a servant's coming, but...
Like I'd let you touch it? Are you kidding?
No, I understand. Are you aware of the other broken wheel over here?
Uh-oh. She's like, what?
This one just here, and he's just going to club the side of it. Assuming it's a sort of wooden wheel.
Oh
my
gosh, Todd! And Todd is like, now see here, this is just absurd behavior.
I love it. Ailbh is the one that like takes the, the baseball bat to the windshield type scenario.
The moral low ground.
Yes, I love this.
I'll have you know that my servants will be here shortly, and this will not be tolerated.
Can I cast Befuddle on her?
Actually, yeah, because I like to see the mechanics of the system we're playing.
Yeah, I want to try it. So Befuddle is the entertainer can temporarily strike the audience within magic meters unable to talk, and they suffer -5 to the trait for all perception rolls for magic minutes, while I receive +5 to the trait for all communication rolls during the same period.
That sounds good. Just to remind everybody how magic mechanically works, you want to explain that? You want me to explain that?
I would love if you would explain that, because I definitely read it, but I don't say that I would understand it.
Okay, magic's easy in this game. You either have like low magic or high magic, and with high magic, each one has a different like difficulty number, and you'll try to meet it to beat that, you know? With low magic, it's just your magic skill. So roll under your magic skill to succeed, and it's usually like it's supposed to be successful most of the time, if that makes sense. Like, so it's not a big deal. But if you fail, also not a big deal. Just add 5 to the difficulty and like try again. Each time you fail at a spell during one session, it just gets harder for that particular spell. You can try again, not a big deal.
My magic is 100, so...
Yes, so you're supposed to at this high level. We are at nearly the end of the game. Ivy's been to a floating friggin' island. Ivy's an experienced adventurer. She knows her magic pretty well at this point. She's going to succeed on all the low magics. And it's only on those individual spells with their plus or minus difficulty modifiers that you might fail. So you're really good at magic at this point, Ivy. You are like a high-level character. You are an actual adventurer.
Oh, Ivy's finally an actual adventurer. I'm so proud.
So describe what you do to these people, because you're going to succeed.
Okay, well, I rolled a 0 anyways. So
Holy cow.
yeah.
Hot damn.
I
So
feel
I'd
almost
like
bad for them.
I know, right? I'd like to think that Ivy is like, oh my God, shut up. And then like that triggers the spell. And I guess I don't know, in my head, there's like a magical, what is it? It's like in Beetlejuice when they're trying to say the name of him and he slaps a bar of metal over the woman's face so she can't talk. But it's like magical. So she does that and there's like just stuck muffling behind this magical piece of fake, I don't know, metal. We'll go with that. My brain
Magical
just
ball
lost
gag.
control. Thank you. Magical ball gag. Oh no. Oh no. That's kinky. Yes. And and they can't speak. And she's like, oh, that's like so much better. Sometimes people just won't shut up. They just talk forever.
Do I need to make any roll for the breaking of the wheel on the cart?
You're a very high-level adventurer, so you can break wood. Objects pose very little difficulty to you at this level.
Should we like see what's inside their cart? Maybe there's nefarious goods in there.
You peek your head in, and you see there's a whole bunch of wedding presents and many envelopes of cash. This is a very stocked, loaded, like, I'm just going to say, if anyone tries to rip these two off, they can walk away with a lot of money.
You know, I was going to say I don't think Ivy is a thief, but I think in her head, he's broken contract with her sister, and so he therefore owes her something. So she might pocket some of the cash and be like, I'm going to give this to Fern in payment for her pain and suffering for dealing with you.
Christy looks very upset at that, but cannot make much noise. And as you pocket, I guess, like a few of the envelopes are just stuffed full of cash.
She won't take it all.
There's plenty left, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's making, like, facial expressions at you. And then I think she faints.
Perfect. Good. And then she'll look at Todd. I don't know. I wish that I had a spell to make him ugly.
Oh.
She'll just say, you know what?
Well, you do,
Karma
kind of.
is
You
a
do
thing.
sort of.
What?
Look at the spell list. A few come to mind.
Oh.
One of them is beast form.
Oh.
It's not so much a magical spell, but I do have club.
Oh my God.
That was loud enough only for Ivy to hear. That wasn't.
Thank you. I don't think I want to murder him.
I wasn't suggesting murder, just mild disfigurement.
All right, to use a higher magic effect, the character must pass a magic trait test, which you're probably going to. You're pretty good at magic, and get a difference equal or greater than the difficulty of the effect attempted.
Okay. There's one that says something breaks in the mind of the character and a roll on the insanity table has to be made. Wait, is that a spell that I can cast? No, that's a botch roll. Just kidding. Well, let's see what I get.
Well, you're going to want to find the spell first. So you're going to
right.
want to find the beast form spell as you disfigure this. Make him more beast form.
Right.
It's under the sphere of change, which is how spheres are schools, basically, of magic. On page 63, a sphere of change starts. On page 64, there's wild form.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
And it's
yes.
target, so you can definitely target people with this.
I want to make him...
It does say willing target, but,
You know...
it's fine. I don't care. You can transmutation.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could
This
also
ritual can
shapeshift.
alter any property of any inanimate object. Yeah, you can definitely do it, Todd. Living creatures cannot be altered into non-living objects.
Okay. Well, I don't want him to
It does
die
say
anyway, so.
Yeah. You can just burn him too. Lots of things. Cause disability.
I don't want to.
Turn Todd into a toad.
Yeah. I will let you target Todd with this, even though he's probably not willing. Because we're going to use the magic system. I want to demonstrate a higher magic roll at some point during this game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can give him fangs. You can give him, etc. Do what you want.
I will give him, I'll do a Shakespeare reference. I will give him donkey ears.
Nice.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to give that the difficulty of claws, because it's like an extension of a tissue. Yeah.
Mhm.
And go ahead and make your roll. And let's see if your difficulty is going to meet or beat.
I got a...
And I'll tell you the difficulty first on page 63. According to the sphere of change, if you're doing a surface change, you need a difference of at least 25 versus your skill, which is... And if you're shape-shifting, you're going to need a difference of at least 75. So because you didn't just like give him an age spot, you're giving him donkey ears, it's a 75 difference. So, so it's 25 or below to make this happen, if that makes sense. Because your magic skill is 100.
Okay. Let's see what I got. I got a 16. That's enough, right?
That is enough.
I'm so good at math, guys. I'm so good at math. Awesome.
Todd now has donkey ears.
Yeah. And they're not cute donkey ears. They're ugly donkey ears.
Yeah. And he goes to insult you and hee-haws.
Perfect.
Now he has acquired the tick of hee-haws when stressed.
I love everything about this. And she's just like, wow, Todd, looking a little bit like an ass today.
Wow. Wow.
That was a good shot, Ivy. I'm really proud of you, I say to myself. And then she looks at Ailbh and she's like, you know what? We should just leave them. We have way more important things to do.
We did well here. I'm proud of us. We should go.
Y'all continue heading down that cart path towards the Fubi Plains. The sun lowers, but it's not time in the day for it to lower, if that makes sense. It's kind of weird. It's a bit weird. It's twilight, and a fog rises from the damp fields. Actually, you know what? No, let's just go to break, because this is a good point for a break. You guys turn Todd into a donkey, and you know where to go. So... joining us for part 1 were Ailbh.
I hope it doesn't get any more muddy than this. Young Ivy doesn't like it.
And Ivy.
I'm like so glad that I packed at least 15 changes of clothes because I feel gross. And please leave us a review on iTunes and we'll read them on the air. We really like doing that.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Today's mid-episode shout-out is, quote, to my fellow Sun Yat-sen researcher, Ali, your contributions to expanding our knowledge of the universe are invaluable. You're advancing humanity in remarkable ways. End quote. You can arrange for us to read your shout-out at firebreathingkittens.com. Did you know we have paperback, ebook, hardcover and audiobook adaptations of our adventures on Amazon and Audible? Is there an episode of Fire Breathing Kittens that would make someone you know smile? Well, tell them about it. It would help us loads. Thanks.
Welcome back to Fire Breathing Kittens, where today we're playing Lost Roads of Lociam. Everybody, please roll a d10 and tell me your number. I'm going to roll 1, 2, and the closest to my number will tell us what happened in part 1.
I got a 9.
I got a 10.
Ivy, you're closest to 5. That was my number. Hey, this dice actually shows up on camera. Nice. Anyway, that is a 5. So tell us what happened in part 1.
In part 1, my sister told me that Todd has been missing and she wants to find him so that she can like break up with him, which I think is a great idea. And so I enlisted Ailbh to help me find him so we can tell him that it's #over. And then Robin Banks walked in to the Firebreathing Kitten Hall and hired us to make a knockoff but better LifeBru that isn't addictive, and paid a whole bunch of money for us to go figure that out. But we were missing the secret ingredient, which is a grain. So we went to first we went to Todd's old house, which is now a frat house. And we got some pizza from her, and she was like, I don't know who owns this house, or it was Mega Corporation, that's right. And then she was like, I have some books that need to be returned to the library. And we're like, you're cute enough. So we took the books to the library. And while we were there, Ailbh talked to the librarian, and something happened, and he got knowledge. And I was not privy to that, so I don't know what happened there, but y'all do. And then we set off towards the mountains to go find this secret grain that's hopefully not extinct. And along the way, we encountered Todd. And
minor clarification.
Yes.
It might surprise Ivy that you turned your back on those mountains and you headed for the lowland plains.
Ah, that did surprise Ivy. But also at the same time, I don't know that it did, because I'm not sure that she knows where they're going. So, yes. She was very pleased to go on an adventure. Anyways, she's having a miserable time on this adventure because she's not very good at being outdoors. And they encountered Todd, who was in a broken down carriage with his new wife, Christy. That was her name. And Ivy was very upset to find that out. And so she cursed them into silence, and Ailbh broke one of their other wheels. And then she turned Todd grew donkey ears. Ivy cursed Todd with donkey ears. I got there eventually. And then that's where we ended the first part of this episode.
Hey, half through, half done.
I'm so proud of myself for getting through that.
Yeah.
Yay, Ivy.
Yay. All right, so when we left off, you guys are in the beer cart advertising for Stout and Stubble.
Yep.
And rolling along a rolling advertisement. It's a cart road. On the left and right of you are waving heads of wheat and like tall grasses. Like, you know, there's ticks out there, Ivy. You're just like, ugh.
She wants nothing to do with that.
Far off in the distance are mountain peaks, but for you guys in the lowlands, you're just heading along this path into the Fubi Plains. Then something kind of unusual happens. The sun lowers. It's twilight, and a fog rises from the damp fields. Like, you feel like it got dark sooner than it should have, but if you hadn't been paying attention, I doubt Ivy notices. Probably Ailbh is like, we had another half hour of light. This is strange. It's twilight, and a fog rises from the damp fields. There's mist that makes you can't see the mountains anymore. You can't even, honestly, it's hard to see your hand. From within the dense mist, the tall grasses rustle and wish despite there being no wind. Looming in front of you, off, like you can see it in the distance, a few dozen feet, in the cornfield or the wheat field, the grain field, is a dark, tall figure. It's in the grasses. It's not on the road.
I don't know that stopping would be a good idea here, Ivy.
Oh, by the way, you're here on the map. X marks the spot.
Oh, but we kind of like have to, right? Because this is like where we need to be. So
yeah. Stay behind me, okay?
Is the tall figure moving at all?
Completely stationary. And it's like, how tall you guys are? Like 4 feet? It's like 12 feet.
Oh, God.
It rises even above the grasses, which honestly are above your heads.
I'm not sure how to proceed here.
I don't know ever. What if I like stand on your shoulders? Does that make us taller than the grasses?
Yes, that would make you 4 + 4 is 8 feet tall. Taller than the grasses.
Okay.
Right,
or,
hop on.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm probably not strong enough to hold you up, so I should probably go on your shoulders. Okay. Yeah, Ivy will stand on on Ailbh's shoulders, then I guess we'll proceed through the grass.
Leaving the cart behind. Yeah.
Are you approaching the figure?
That's the general place that we need to go, so
Yeah.
yes.
I think we're going to have to.
Yeah.
You approach the figure. It's dark out, but even in the moonlight bouncing off of the mist all around you, so it's like kind of like a white background, like a white noise background, you see a pumpkin-headed, hat-wearing, flanneled scarecrow. It is stuffed with straw.
Oh, well, that's like not that scary unless it
Just
starts
a
moving.
scarecrow. Oh, what were we worried about? I mean, I wasn't worried. No.
Oh, I was. But yeah. Okay, well, it's just a scarecrow. So, let's start looking for that grain. Do you know what it looks like?
Vaguely. It'll be quite difficult to identify. You know, a lot of the grains do look quite similar. I know it's quite a dark grain, but
Are you looking for a grain?
We're going for the ruins first.
Oh, we're looking for the ruins. Okay.
Yeah, we need the ruins, and hopefully the grain is still growing in the vicinity.
So standing on Ailbh's shoulders, I can see over the grass. Do I see any ruins in the vicinity?
Sort of like a poorly loaded video game map. The further out from you, the more it's mist, until it fades into mist.
Well, I guess we just have to like keep exploring until we find them. Are we next to the scarecrow? Do we get up to it?
You tell me.
Oh, yes.
Okay. It's a scarecrow. It has a pumpkin head, a hat, and flannel, and it's stuffed with straw.
Is it a happy face pumpkin?
Oh, it's a scary scarecrow.
Oh, no. Let's go quick, because I don't like the look of that. Anybody who carves a mean face is not a good person on their pumpkin, so we should keep going.
Ailbh will sort of double his pace, holding on to her ankles, and just, right, let's go.
Your back is turned on the scarecrow. Bwah! Make a martial roll. Oh, just kidding. Surprise targets don't get to make a martial roll in Lost Roads of Lociam. When attacking targets that are not defending themselves, the effect is simply the attacker's martial trait, as if the target had rolled a negative result. The scarecrow stabs both of you in the back with straw.
Ow!
Ah!
You take 1 level of damage, are pained, and apply -20 to all future rolls. Also, the wound is itchy.
I don't like being itchy.
Let's talk about levels of damage in Lost Roads of Lociam. So, there's a table with the difference between your martial results and the injuries that you would take. And levels of damage are pained, -20, hurt, -30, injured, -40, and maimed, -50 to all of your rolls. It becomes very hard to win combat rolls with negative modifiers. But that's where we are. Please also make a roll for fear, because it got you. Now, once you roll for fear, I'll tell you what happens. But basically, you're going to roll 2d10, and you're going to compare the number against your perception.
Okay.
16.
2d10, not a d100?
Or whatever, same thing.
Oh. Well, I got a 1.
A 1 is a very, very good roll.
Okay.
You did good. You succeeded against fear. And what's your stat for perception?
80, which does the -20 affect it?
It does. So 1 still beats 60. And Ailbh, your number was a 17 versus
100. It's my best stat.
100 for perception. So it's actually at 80 right now, because you guys are, what is the name of it? Injured, you're pained.
We're pained.
Yeah, so remember that all of your stats are at -20.
Okay.
Yep, so I rolled a 16 against an 80.
Yes, so both of you pass and are not afeared. And to tell you what fear does, fear is another modifier that's like being injured for your brain. It's like you can get more negatives on your rolls. You can be phased, shaken, scared, or terrified. And that will affect your roll. But don't worry about fear for this game. But listeners, that mechanic exists. And there's sort of like, if you ever played any of the Cthulhu games where there's like mental health and physical health, and they're 2 different stats, Lost Roads of Lociam also has that. But it sounds like we're never going to deal with that again because I was going to do one fear roll for the encounter. So don't worry about that. We're going to move on. Your brains are fine. You are strong of mind. Anyway, but there's a scarecrow attacking you. What do?
I'm going to try and get Ivy down into safety, putting Ailbh in between the scarecrow and Ivy is first thing, and then hit it.
And Ivy, what are you going to do?
Ivy is also going to try to hit it with her bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow from Ivy. Ailbh, what are you using to hit it?
Club.
A club.
Club, I believe I've got, yep.
Both of you, please roll a martial roll as the scarecrow, which is 12 feet tall, and now you guys are both 4 feet tall, is trying to stab you with straw.
48 versus 65. That's taking the 20 off for pained.
Good. What is the difference in your roll? So you subtract your stat.
From 65, 17.
17. Okay.
I had a 100 in martial down to 80.
Your 100 is boosted by your equipment.
Oh, okay.
You're using your bow, right?
Ooh.
You're not just slapping somebody.
Right. So that makes it 160?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the with equipment ranged?
Yes.
Is that what I'm adding? Okay. So then that makes it 140, and I rolled a 74.
140 minus 74 is...
66.
66?
Thank you.
For you.
Yes.
And Ailbh, what was your difference with your equipment?
So my equipment's plus 10, so that would take it back up to 75, so it would be 27.
With equipment, Ailbh, you were at 85 plus 66 minus 20, 131.
Oh, okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
Because you have mail on armor.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I forgot about the armor.
And you're wielding a club or a staff or whatever you want to flavor it as.
Yep, so it was 131, it was a 48 I rolled.
40 or 48?
48.
48. Okay, so your difference minus 20 is 63. 131 minus 48 minus 20. So 63 martial result for Ivy, or 66 martial result for Ivy, and a 63 martial result for Ailbh. I add those two together and I get your party's martial result, which is 129, which is very high. You guys are very high level adventurers. This scarecrow has a martial of 45 and rolled above that and got a 64. So you guys have a difference so you consult this table in Lost Roads of Lociam, and the difference between you guys was 100 to 124. So that means, because it was 129, so that means 4 levels of damage to the loser, 0 to the winner. Describe what you do to this scarecrow.
I think Ivy is aiming for the pumpkin head, so she'll shoot an arrow into the pumpkin head and maybe like leave a giant crack in it.
Oh, a giant crack. It splits in half.
Ailbh goes straight for the knees, being about the only thing he can really reach. I am trying to bring it down our side. Our size.
They're full of straw. As you strike them with your club, they explode, and the hay goes up in the air, raining down upon you two. As this thing lands on the ground, the legs have all the stuffing knocked out of them, so they've got still full of, the flannel shirt is still full of straw. But as it lays on the ground, you wonder that it ever moved at all.
If I wasn't so itchy, I'd wonder if this had ever moved at all.
Yeah. Can you reach in the back and get that straw out of my back? Because it's like a lot. I'm going insane because I can't quite reach the itch. It's perfectly in between my wings, of course.
Obviously. I'll reach in and just find a bit of straw and pluck it out and just give it a little itch. Just a little scratch.
Thank you.
A little one.
She'll do the same for Ailbh.
Sticking out of his neck.
The tall grasses rustle and wish in the dense mist despite there being no wind.
This place is like really creepy.
We should move quickly. There's more in here. Let's go.
I guess she'll hop back on Ailbh's shoulders and keep going, trying to find those ruins.
Because you're on the shoulders, you're able to see above the grass. Excellent puzzle solving, you guys, because now you can see there are 2 tall shadows, and they are not stationary. They're heading towards you together. They're at about 11 o'clock.
We've got incoming. She'll like point her arm towards where they're headed towards them.
Take a shot.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I guess she'll shoot her arrow at them.
Roll your martial, and I'll roll for these two.
Oh, no. She got a 13.
13's good.
Oh, 13 is good. I don't know why. Lower numbers to me, I'm like, oh, that's so bad.
So what's your martial?
We're still pained, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that is 140.
Minus 13
Minus
is,
13 is
17.
117. 117?
What, 130, 140?
140.
140, 127.
Okay, thank you.
That is, even though one of them rolled quite good, still 4 levels of damage to the loser, 0 to the winner, as you, the sound of 2 arrows flying through the air, and describe what happens to both of these pumpkin-headed scarecrows.
I guess that the arrows knock their pumpkin heads off and they shatter on the ground and smash.
Yeah, they do. You're smashing pumpkins.
90s pop culture reference.
Yay.
You have made it a lot further into this field. It is completely dark. Like, there are no stars. What are you doing for light?
We have wilderness survival gear. Could that include a lantern?
Yes.
Okay. Since you're holding on to my legs, then Ivy will hold on to a lantern.
The lantern illuminates the fog all around you. It's, from a distance, it would look like a sphere of light shining off of the droplets of water suspended in the air. You can't see very far. To you, it looks like you are a lone ship in a sea of waving grains. There is no rock or boulder under your feet. It is plowed, actually. These are ordered grains. They are not wild grains, if that makes sense. From within the dense mist, the tall grasses rustle and wish, despite there being no wind. Perception from both of you.
Oh.
5 against a perception of 80.
Okay, that's 75.
I rolled a 7-3 against a perception of 60, so...
Ivy, you're the one above the grass.
Yeah, that's bad. I don't know. Ivy definitely has severe ADHD, so she's probably like... She looked into the lantern light, which you're not supposed to do, and now she's slightly blinded by the light. Mm-hmm.
Well, as you are blinded by the light, they get closer than the bow and arrow distance. They're now in melee distance. There are 4 of them coming up from your 6, right behind you.
Behind us, Ivy.
At that point, even Ailbh can see them. You are all in melee distance with 4 of these scarecrows.
Oh gosh. Ivy will hop off, using her wings, I guess, to get off quickly, and get behind Ailbh.
Ailbh will, once he feels Ivy's safe, pulling out his club, and again swinging for the knees.
Okay.
42 against martial of 85 minus 20, 65. 42, 23 difference there, and then 66, did you say? For equipment, so that'll be 29.
Ailbh, your total is...
89.
Okay, so you would be at 151 base, but because you're down 20, because you got stabbed in the back with straw, you're at 131. So your roll was a...
42.
So your 131 minus 42 is 89. That's your difference. Okay. Ivy, do you want help calculating yours?
No, I think because they're within melee distance, she might not go for her bow. If maybe they're too close, she might try a spell instead.
Yeah. Let's see an offensive spell. That's cool.
I'm a little afraid that she might choose fire.
Choose fire.
You can also flavor your, here at Firebreathing Kittens, mechanics and flavor are different things. So the mechanics can be the mechanic of the fire, but you can flavor it like whatever you want. Like, what would Ivy's blast look like? Would it be flame? Would it be water, electricity, stars, bubbles?
Oh, probably.
Sound?
Oh gosh. We'll go for like rose petals.
Ooh. Rose petals that slice you to death.
Yes. How very Sailor Moon.
I like it.
Yes. So I got an 18. My magic is now an 80.
That's correct. 80 minus 18 is 62. So we have an 89 from Ailbh plus a 62 from Ivy for a total of 151. Give me a second now as I roll for all these marshals. It's 45. I might have said 25 earlier. It is 45 for they're statted like minor demons. Okay, they have a 55 total after adding together all of their numbers because 45 minus each of their rolls eventually over time was 55. So therefore, the difference between you guys with 89 and 62 is 151 minus, what did I say their total is? 55. So 96, I think, is the difference between you guys. You once again just blow these 4 scarecrows out of the water entirely. They are actually only 3 levels of damage this time. It seems like it took a little bit longer to take these 4 down than it did the previous ones.
But we still take them down.
You do still take them down, but it was not as much of an overwhelming victory as the previous battle was.
It seems like it's like getting harder the closer we get to the ruins. Hopefully, if we're headed in the correct direction. What if we're like headed in the wrong direction? Anyways, we should keep going.
I mean, I probably could have told you some of this information, but this is not unexpected. I'm sorry, Ivy. I was trying to save your sanity.
Oh, like a little bit of a heads up would have been nice, but I'm not mad at you.
I didn't know all of this, but I didn't know the specific dangers, just that there would be dangers in and around the ruins. So this tells me we're going the right way.
Well, that's good. Anyways.
From within the dense mist, the tall grasses rustle and wish, despite there being no wind. Perception check.
But we're both below the grasses, so would we have any chance of seeing them?
Huh?
Yeah.
Auto fail from both of you.
Oh, yeah.
Melee again, as there are now 8 scarecrows.
Okay. I see you. Okay.
This is getting hairy in here.
Keeps doubling.
And your wounds keep itching.
So much itching.
I have rolled for them. I have rolled for them. They've got 120 this time.
Oh boy.
Add it all together. And you guys? Ailbh, you're at 131. What's your dice roll?
15.
Well, that's
minus
pretty
my
good.
1. I've been rolling okay today.
Yeah. 116 from Ailbh. And Ivy, your marshal was
100 and now it's... Well, martial wise. Yeah, I guess she'll pull out the bow because it's faster. 140 and I rolled a 7.
Holy cow. 140 minus 7 is 133. So you guys are like, we are getting pummeled. We need to really fight. So 116 plus 133 means 249. You beat this 120 handily. Wow. That's some scarecrows down.
I think it's time to run, Ivy. They're going to keep coming. We're going to have to run.
Yeah, I totally agree that we should book it.
I'll grab Ivy by the hand and just run.
You are running hand in hand through the misty field. From within the dense mist, now you're making your own rustling sound. As you whip past these tall grasses, there are definitely ticks on you, I'm sorry. The mud is squelching under your feet. It's slippery, too. And these furrows make it easier to run in a straight line. So you know you're definitely heading away from the road. Definitely towards the ruins. As I calculate what 2 to the 4th is, 16 instead of 8. Okay. Exponential growth. All right, 2 to the 4th.
This seems like an unnecessary amount of scarecrows. I understand this is a really large field, but like whoever the farmer is really needs to rethink his
There can't be that many
resource distribution. Yeah.
Ivy, are you willing to gain a level or a chance at insanity to know what Ailbh heard?
Yes. I'll try it. Absolutely.
Okay, please make a knowledge trait check,
Okay.
which is lowered by
Knowledge.
20 now versus previously.
Great.
So there's...
I have a 30 in it, and I rolled an 82.
Oh, that is a fail. We're going to get our first insanity here, folks. Okay. All right, the insanity table on page 41. What I want you to do is we're going to make... So what was your roll? It was
I rolled an 82.
an 82. And your stat was a
30.
30. That means you failed by 52. Yeah. 52.
Oh, no.
That, if we just want to go off of the table, which actually does really apply here, a 52 is obsessive hatred of danger. The character becomes a rank coward and will go to great lengths to avoid any danger, even if the threat is not even deadly.
Oh, no. Okay. I love it.
And if you
This
don't
is
love it,
perfect.
there's a whole table, so just let me know if you
No,
want.
I'm here for it. I'm so sorry, Ailbh. But yes, she's now a coward. And she just starts screaming, I think.
So you are officially going to go to great lengths to avoid any danger, acting like it's much worse than it is, even if the threat is not even deadly. And the knowledge that you gain is that there was a tribe of collectors, greedy, ravenous collectors. They loved shiny things, and they collected fruits, vegetables, and grain. They lived a life of luxury, of excess, delight, and gourmet pleasures. But one day it all ended. The village was rumored to have been wiped out by something they brought into their collection. The ruins are even still now too dangerous for people to explore, but perhaps you might find many types of grain there because the collectors collected things that have since gone extinct in the wild. It is a chance to get a grain, especially since grains have the potential to grow. It could be in seed form or it could be growing now. Even though the place is in ruins, perhaps their plants got out. And back in the mountains, these plants might have gone extinct with development and all that, changing geography. And the plants might be preserved here because of these collectors. But what did they collect?
Apparently scarecrows.
All right, so the difference this time is 240 with 16 scarecrows. What are you guys' martial rolls as you're attacked by another wave of them?
Does my insanity interfere with my numbers at all?
No, it's a role-playing thing.
Okay, gotcha.
For this particular insanity.
86.
Oh, your difference is 86.
No, the roll's 86. Minus 131. I'm finally rolling bad. It's turning at the wrong time.
That's a
Difference
45,
of
Ailbh.
45, yep.
Whoa! What's your roll, Ivy?
My roll is a 64.
140 minus 64 is 76. 76 plus 45 is 121. These scarecrows beat you by 240 minus 121 is 119. You guys, please describe what happens as the scarecrows beat you up and you are stabbed with straw. Let me see how many levels of hurt you take. With a difference of 119 between groups, 4... Wait, no, that's probably not right. 4 levels of damage to the loser, 0 to the winner. Yeah, y'all take another minus 50 to all of your rolls for the rest of the session.
Another minus 50 or minus
Yeah.
50 plus the minus 20?
No, yeah, another minus 50.
So minus 70 total.
Yeah.
What does that do for stats that are literally already lower than that?
I don't suggest rolling them.
Okay. So we're at minus 70.
And you're currently being, like, just the stuffing beaten out of you by these scarecrows. But you do take out a good half of them because you did do 121 in damage. So, like, you did take some out. There are only 3 scarecrows left, I'm going to say, because there you go.
Imagine the straw that's sort of gone in, sort of blends in with Ailbh's beard. You know, big golden beard that it is, and it's got the straw colour just in. So his beard and is now half hair and half straw.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
Sticking out of his
Ivy's all
chin.
scratched up. Her hair's horribly messed up, which is very, very painful for her. And her dress is ripped, and she's devastated.
Oh, the dress. Not the dress.
Not the dress.
There are 3 scarecrows left. Describe the combat scene and your rolls.
It's just
Oh, boy.
wild swinging, you know, over his head like it's a hammer he's about to throw, and he just smashes it as high as he can into the remaining shadow pumpkin people.
Yeah, she's throwing all the arrows that she can, but she's just not quite fast enough.
They have a 45. Let's see what your guys' difference is this time.
Rolled a 50 against take another 50 off of my roll. Takes me down to 81, giving me a difference of 31.
31. Wow.
160.
If you get 14, you are, well, so you were at 140 before that negative 50. So now your Marshall is only 90, Ivy.
Yes, and I rolled a 38.
A 38, 90 minus 38 means that with a 52 of Marshall from Ivy and a 31 Marshall from Ailbh, the total is 83. You beat their 45, and describe what happens to the last of the scarecrows.
Oh, I think they just pile on top of the rest of the scarecrows, and it's just a giant pile of rotting pumpkin and like gross wet hay.
As you stand there panting over the destroyed gross wet hay and rotting pumpkins, your wounds are still itchy. You examine the raised red skin, wondering if perhaps straw is still present, and find a different kind of present. A moving gift that crawls on the surface of your skin, tiny dots moving independently.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Are those mites? What is that? They're going to eat me alive. They're going to eat me alive.
I'll look over at Ivy and start sort of slapping her hand. Ailbh's not worried about himself right now. He's going to try and help the young Ivy here.
Do you have anything on you to help?
I don't know.
I have perfume. Can I douse myself in the perfume to try to kill the mites?
Yes, and it does work. Okay. Just for you only.
Oh, no.
True facts. Perfume's kind of heinous.
That's fair. I mean, I reek now, so...
Yeah, you do.
Ailbh, do you have anything on you? What about do you have any beer on you? You could drown them.
I do have beer on me, but it's not on my sheet, but I've always got beer on me.
You do have beer on your sheet. Check your equipment. You've got...
Wilderness survival gear, sleeping gear, healing potion, antidote. I'll pour beer all over my arms.
Ailbh pours beer all over his arms.
Crying slightly as he does it.
Yeah, and which of your potions do you want to use up?
I will use... I'm not sure. A lot of these are all ingested ones, so I'm just going to have to...
Well, the mites are quite thoroughly doused in them, so it wouldn't work on a dragon to splash it on its paw, but to drown mites in it, sure. I think that they do ingest it, yes.
I'll pour the golden sleep on them.
The golden sleep, when ingested, counts as one night's restful sleep. The mites feel refreshed.
I was hoping it would just put them to sleep.
You do have a sleeping potion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one. That's what I meant. Sure.
Oh, okay. Sleeping potion. All right. So the mites are going to roll to resist your sleeping potion. That means that if they fail a strength 75 check, they will sleep for 8 hours. They got a 47. They fail a strength 75 check, so they sleep for, I think the difference had to be 75. Is that how that works? Like their strength, which they don't have a very high strength. So they fail their strength roll anyway, and they definitely don't beat a 75 difference. Yeah, that's how that would work. So 47 on the dice, which fails versus their strength stat. And they'd had to have gotten a difference of 75 to succeed against your sleep potion. So the mites kind of float off you in the wave of beer and have a good sleep in the straw.
We need to get out of the straw, Ivy.
You don't have any healing potions or anything in that
I
bag,
do. I can give you one. I do.
Well,
do
we both need one, though. Can we split it?
No. Yeah, you have it, and I'll pull out one of the beers. It's one of the lighter, more palatable beers. And here, please take it. This will cure a level of healing. 1 level of damage.
1 level of damage will take a minus 10 off of you.
Oh, okay. She will chug it, and then she'll say, it tastes like bubble gum. I don't know. But we have to get out of here before this gets any worse.
You see that the fog around you, now that you've defeated the last of the scarecrows, is dissipating a bit. The unnatural twilight lightens. Yeah, it wasn't fully dark, the sun is just now setting. And a few hundred feet from you is a perfectly peaceful village. The houses are stick nests and the people are crows. And as the mist raises and is completely gone, they stare at you in shock, surprised to see you.
I think we're as shocked to see them. And I'd imagine, I can't speak for Ivy, obviously, but Ailbh's going to be hesitant, given the ordeal that we've just gone through about approaching or speaking, and he'll sort of raise his club and have it primed, ready.
Yeah, Ivy's just like, bird people and versus scarecrows? So, are you guys okay? Are we okay?
Caw! How did you get past our security system?
Well, technically they, attacked us, but yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's what a security system would do. We don't mean any harm. We're just trying to find that, grain.
Grain? Caw! Yes, we're famous for our collections.
Ah, you're the collectors. We've heard about you. You're quite famous.
Too famous. Caw!
We're not trying to, I mean, I know all about being famous. And I know the pains of it. So, I totally understand why you would have a security system that was incredibly scary, however. So, maybe, scale it back a little bit. But we just want one little grain, if you don't mind. We could trade for it.
Caw? Trade? But yeah, of course. Our security system is the scariest thing in the world. Scarecrows.
But wouldn't that scare you because you're crows and they're scarecrows and that's the whole point of a scarecrow is to scare crows?
They're incredibly scary. We thought that would keep people out. We got sick of people arriving and asking for our precious treasures. But trade, that's a legitimate thing we do, crows. Caw.
Do you have anything
You should
shiny?
If you could invest in scare dwarves next time.
And fairies, scare fairies. That might work too.
Anyway, trade.
Trade. Ivy took some of the stuff from the carriage. Was it all money that she took?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they seem not super interested in the bills and coins.
That's fair.
They're half interested, but eh.
Is there something that you want? Something that we could retrieve for you? We've shown you how capable we are.
What do you have?
I have potions and antidotes, and
Caw.
I've got a wonderful club.
Oh, caw. Anything to eat or drink?
Oh.
You said potion?
Oh, drink. I've got lots to drink.
Uh-uh.
I've got
Well-
a nice stout here. I've got a porter. I've got a very fine session IPA. There's an IPA here with guava. I've all sorts.
Oh, you brought your beer cart.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Most of it's back in the beer cart, but it's there. I could just grab it.
Caw. And you and some villagers make your way over to the beer cart. And what did you say the beer cart had, a tasting room?
Yeah, it's got a bar that comes out, and it's nice and chilled, and it's very homely and comfortable. And there's a small music box there that plays, just kind of background music and maybe little pipes and fiddles, something quiet.
Oh, they haven't been to a bar ever. They love this. Caw, this is wonderful. Caw. And they want your kegs. Yeah, absolutely. Trade is happening. They are in for this. Did you say guava flavored beer?
Absolutely. It's wonderful.
They list off the grains. Now they're going to sell you a small amount of each of these grains in exchange for the keg. I'll send you this list after the session, but just to tell you, you get a small amount of amaranth, barley, buckwheat, bulgur, corn, durum, einkorn, emmer, farrick, khorasan, millet, oats, quinoa, rice, rye, sorghum, spelt, teff, and wheat. So whatever your recipe needs, you have some. How do we buy more of this delicious guava beer?
Well, there's a few ways. I will be in around Nicomoy. I don't know if you know the place. I will be travelling around there with some of my wares, but I also have the Stout and Stubby up in the mountains there, not too far from here. My sister runs the joint. She is wonderful. She will take care of you, and I'm very sure that she'll be happy that I've been marketing because that was one thing she asked me to do, was make sure I marketed the beer. So, Stout and Stubbly, please come up, enjoy the beer, tell her where you found out about it. My name's Ailbh Goldbeard, and you can come and partake as much as you can drink for payment.
They're like cheering, they're drunk, they're very happy crows.
Who knew? Crows. That was the missing link in this business becoming so successful.
That was the missing ingredient the whole time, was crows. That was what you were missing.
And you can make friends with crows. They're very good and loyal friends.
That's true.
Yay! All right.
Yay.
I'm going to wrap up this adventure, but I'll give you one more Easter egg. On the way home with the Stout and Stubbly beer cart just completely sold out, with you're loaded up with, you've successfully traded. They do have money too. Walking down the road you came here on, or actually wheeling the cart down the road you came here on, you see off in the distance a cart with a cracked broken wheel leaning on it. The strawberry blonde woman, Christy, is being yelled at by an older man who looks a lot like her, and she's just stuttering because she can't really talk. And he shouts, "What do you mean you woke up and Todd and all the wedding money were gone? This is what he does after marrying my daughter? I'll get you, Todd Winston Sinclair, or my name isn't Samuel Marchden." And joining us on this adventure were Ivy.
Oh my God, guys. Not only did I get rid of Todd, but also we successfully got Ailbh's crane, and I'm so happy.
And Ailbh.
I'm not a failure as a dwarf and a brewer. Leg's going to be so happy. And he's going to have another tear in his eye, this time of happiness and joy. But the headache is starting to kick in. He realises he's not had a beer in some time because he sold all the wares.
Back to the Stout and Stubbly for more.
More beer.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.